Hey everyone! A while ago I had an idea to make a light katana, or a samurai sword that lights up. For whatever reason, I imagined this as being a see-through blade with a light around the edge, so I ended up doing this using an acrylic sheet with an LED strip around the edge. The first version is the one that I'm going to show you how I made it in this video, but I'm planning to do future versions that are more advanced than this one as well. So for this first version, I decided to keep it as simple as possible. It's a single color LED with AA batteries in the handle that power it and just a simple on-off switch. So I'll go through how I made it. I hope you like it. Here's the design for where the laser cutter should cut the sheet of acrylic to cut the blades out. So this is matching the dimensions of the acrylic sheet that I got, and I was able to fit 5 different blades so that in the future I'll be able to do various different kinds of swords. So for the first kind, it has a little bit of a longer handle section, and that's in order to fit the AA battery packs, 2 vertically on each side. For the other ones, the handle's a little bit shorter because they will be using a cylindrical battery pack, like a charger essentially, that'll slide up the bottom, and so the blade piece itself can't get in the way. I got the dimensions from online, showing what typical sizes for katanas are and getting the general bend and shape for them. So I'm going to send this to the laser cutter and hopefully it turns out well. After getting the acrylic sheet back from the laser cutter, I removed the film on the top and I checked out the quality of the work, which seemed pretty good. Fairly accurate to my designs and not a lot of defects. First was to grind a channel into the edge of the acrylic sheet using a Dremel tool that I could then lay the LED strip down into. Doing a test of the electronics, I got 4 packs of 2 AA's that are hooked up in series, a simple switch on here, here's the LED strip, so let's give it a try. Yay, it works! The back of the LED strip black, and by default it's got this kind of brownish backing, so the black color will make it match the rest better. Here I'm using some hot glue to lay the LED strip into the channel that I've carved out. Okay, moment of truth. Ooh. Here are the 3D models for the parts that I'm going to print from the 3D printer. So there's a handle, the hilt, and then these supports here. So the supports are in order to add pressure inside of the handle so that the handle is held on correctly. So you can see these holes in the handle here that go all the way through. Basically the handle is completely hollow so that it can slide on over the batteries and everything, but then I need these supports inside so that when I put a nut and bolt through the middle, it'll have the pressure that it needs to hold it on. The hilt here has a little cutout in order to allow the LED strip to go through and connect to the batteries inside, but be covered up and seamless. And other than that, I did add one little detail that I kind of liked, which was the question mark on the hilt, which has to do with the costume that I'll be wearing with it. And here's the model for the sheath. The way that these work is that the swords go in at different depths, and so that's how they're able to cross each other. And for this, I used the actual dimensions of the sword in order to make the cutouts and subtracted that from the rest. So there's a little bit of a curve to it, which allows the swords to sit nicely in it and not move. On the back, there's a little bit of a cutout for the strap that it will be attaching to and going through on the harness, so that should keep it secure. And then a little piece in order to attach it and keep it in place. Hopefully this all turns out from the 3D printer. Got the parts back from the 3D printer. They look great. Need to sand them down a little bit, maybe paint some of them. Here's the holster. Very excited about this one, turned out great. So I've got all the electronics connected finally, but unfortunately disaster has struck. I accidentally pulled off one of the leads from the LED strip and I don't know how to reconnect it, so not sure how I'm going to fix it right now. The only solution I could come up with was to actually cut off the 3 LEDs at the bottom so that I could resolder the leads a little further down. So not ideal, but at least now it works. Next I put the handle on and then I'm done. I had some extra red and black fabric, so I did a wrap on the handle. So this sword is completely done. Hit the button, turns on. Has kind of a cool circuit pattern on the edge. And yeah, I'm really happy with the results. I found this set of old military suspenders at a Army-Navy surplus store one time and completely forgot about them for many years, but luckily remembered that I still had them now because they'll be perfect for creating a harness in order to have the sheath, the cross sheath on my back. So about to dye it, and then I'll I'll mount the sheath onto the harness, and pretty much will be done at that point. Here's everything finished and put together. The swords are lit up, and they're both in the cross sheath, which is mounted on the harness. And that's it. I'm really happy with the results and how it turned out. Of course, there's always things that I could do differently. For instance, the holster is a little bit too wide of an angle. I need to remake it more vertical like this so that it can be used with a single blade and that it won't roll around side to side as much. And then of course I'm planning to do future versions of the swords that are more advanced. So in the second version it'll be an RGB strip with some built-in effects, and I'll use a battery pack, a rechargeable battery pack that slides into the bottom of the handle. For the third version, I'm going to go all the way and use an actual programmable strip with interactive different modes programmed into it so that I can, detect when it's tilted one way or the other, or add sounds when it moves and things like that. So I hope you liked watching this video, seeing how I made it. I'm really happy with the results. Thank you very much.